One type of video that always really interests me is when people come on here and they talk about their process for how they come up with content, how they film it, their setup, and things like that. So I thought I would share my process with you. I'll first talk about like how I get my ideas for book talk videos. I love to talk about books that I have recently read or that I've recently received. That's like an easy kind of low hanging fruit type of video idea. I'm also a big fan of a recommendation video, so if you like this, then you should read this, or here's a list of books that I think you should read, if those types of videos. I do utilize the Creator Search Insights tool to see where the trending topics are as well as content gaps. I'm not the best at doing that, but I do try to do that occasionally because that does help me kind of understand my audience and what you guys are looking for. I also am just really big on getting ideas from other videos that I see. So if I see a video where a mutual of mine or a creator that I admire makes a point about something and I have something to add to that narrative, I'm going to do that as a video topic. The way that I like keep a running list of content ideas is I have a notes app in my phone, like a list of video ideas that I can jot down whenever they come to me. And then I use a tool called Notion, and I'll actually show that to you later in the video, where I record and like plan out my content. One of the things that definitely helps me fill up my content calendar is I will put the dates of the arcs that I've received and when they publish. And my goal is to try to read them around that publish date so that I can review it. So a lot of what's on my content calendar are the arcs that I have gotten access to, and my reminders to read them and film them. So I love to gather ideas from all over the place for videos. A lot of it is just jot it down when you think of it and then come back to it to when I'm ready to film it. I'm gonna change my setup here, so I'll actually show you how I film as well as my Notion calendar so you can kind of see what that looks like, because those two things are, I think, the piece that we don't see a lot of from creators. And the pieces that I'm interested in. Like, I don't have a fancy camera or anything like that, and you don't need one to be successful on here. I'm very mildly successful, but I'm always like interested in what people's setups look like. So we're gonna jump to that. Okay, so here is my filming setup. I usually have a chair or a stand in front of these windows, and I have a tripod, and I did recently get this cool little monitor that is screen sharing because I prefer to film with my back camera. I think the quality's better, and the monitor is on a little bit of a delay, but that doesn't bother me too much. But that lets me sit down in front of it and still be able to see myself, which I think is really helpful. Before, I had a mirror hanging on that window, and the monitor is just better, and it was like 60 bucks. So I have just a nice little tripod. I do have a ring light, but I try not to film at night, so I don't need to use it. I normally have one of those little wireless mics, but it's dead, so I'm hooked up to this mic right now. And then, like I said, I use Notion to manage my content. Notion is free, and I use the content calendar template, and it lets me put all of my content ideas into the system. And I'm like very type A, so I love a calendar. So I will put things on the calendar, and I try to make sure that they're balanced in terms of number of videos. And then I can change my view, and I can see all that same data, but just based on filters or when I want to film it, things like that. I'm a huge fan of Notion. Like I said, it's free, so it's super nice and convenient. There is an app as well, so I can pull it up on my phone if I want to use it there. And then I use CapCut on the desktop to edit my videos. I won't show you that because it's pretty standard looking.